Do you believe in miracles? If you are struggling with any sort of financial issue, any health issue, any relationship, any addiction issue, any type of issue at all, and you would love to see change in it, believe that a miracle is possible for you. All you have to do is trust and believe that there is a power far greater than you that is living within you, that is going to guide you through any circumstance that you are in. I'm Sherry Nichols, and I want to welcome you to The Miracle in You, a show that is dedicated to bringing you hope and inspiration through real life miraculous stories from people all over the world, just like you and me, who have also experienced tragedy and have experienced miracles that have helped them move to the other side of it. Today, we are so blessed to have Jen Stoney with us, an incredibly strong, brilliant, brave woman who has overcome an addiction to alcohol and sexual trauma to now be living a fantastically thriving, healthy, just gorgeous life that she absolutely loves. Every aspect of her life is on fire. And she's here to share her miraculous journey with you today so that the same can happen for you. So let's welcome Jen Stoney all the way from Michigan. Hey, Jen.
Hello, Sherry. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for putting this together. It's just so much wonderful energy going out to the world, and I feel it's beautiful. So I feel honored to be a part of it.
Oh, thank you. And this is really fun for me as well because I've known Jen for years and I've had the privilege and the honor of seeing her on her journey. And it is beyond incredible to see her life just unfold in this miracle. So let's dive right in, Jen. And I would love you to share with us about how you got from a place of addiction to alcohol and you had mentioned a couple of rapes that you had been through to get to this place where you are now. Can you share that miracle with us?
Yeah, so it really started when I was younger. I struggled with learning for a while, and my first escape from hating myself so much ever since I was a young age was boys. And so I used men as a way to escape myself. And then a few years later, it started drinking in high school, and drinking allowed for me to escape the chatter within my brain like never before. And I was able to be my real self without feeling bad about it. For so long, people said I was too much, too loud, too bright. And so I dimmed my sparkle. But when I was drinking, I felt like I could be me. And I felt like I could do whatever I wanted unapologetically. And so through drinking, that led to, working in a strip club. It also led to being raped the first time I had sex, and led to being raped 2 years later by a different man on the other side of the country, and other sexual traumas as well, besides that. And which really taught me that I'm going to control men and I'm going to control things so that this never happens to me ever again. And I put walls up and walls up and walls up, and I drank more and more and more. And I was arrested several times. I've been in the psych ward for attempted suicide. And what that led to is a rock bottom of wanting to get help. And by the grace of God, I was given that opportunity to get help, and not everybody does. And I was, which is amazing. And what really happened was I was arrested, but what really happened was I met this amazing man. And this amazing man, I was like, oh my God, if he sees me drunk, I'm going to lose him. So I got to get sober. He saw me drink 3 times, and it was the hardest 3 times of my life. The last 3 times I drank. And it was so hard because to have 1 or 2 drinks for an alcoholic is the most uncomfortable, agonizing thing in the world. So I got help. And I asked him to, hey, do you want to stay along for this roller coaster ride? I don't know what's going to happen. Or do you want to get off now because I don't know who I am and I'm about to find out? He stayed along for the ride. And that is my now husband. But when you get into a relationship with someone in early recovery, what happens is it's a it's a tricky time. They're learning who they are. There's a lot of nuances. And so I didn't know who I was. I was closing myself off, but I was also achieving everything I wanted. And I found all these beautiful gifts that I had, and I was on honor roll. I was getting my bachelor's degree. And then my husband proposed, and we were engaged to get married. And it was beautiful, but I was closed off. I was shut down, and I had masculine energy like nothing else. I was so controlling. And my husband cheated on me, and he had an affair during our first year of marriage. And that led me down a dark, dark hole. I was on the ground crying one night. He walked out 3 days before our 1 year anniversary. And this voice told me, wake up, your light is going to help women. And I said, why? Like, I mess everything up. This makes no sense. But I got up after I, screamed at that voice and really felt weird that somebody was talking to me. And I got up. And by the grace of God, I did get up. And by the grace of God, I didn't drink during that time. And I have over 12 years sober today. But also during that time, I met Sherry Nichols. And that was an insanely godsend that her and I connected. And I didn't reach out to her. She reached out to me, but it was through me buying like an interview. And it was very synchronistic. And everything kind of just cascaded from there. And today I get to coach women on bringing back and unleashing their sexy goddess. I am still married to my husband. We reconciled 3 weeks before we finalized our divorce. We have 2 beautiful boys, and we live in a beautiful home. And I live the life far beyond my wildest dreams because I got up that day.
You were really struggling in your life. And, to look at you, it's, you look like you have everything going on for you. And yet you were in a place, as you shared with us, so vulnerably, where you were doing things that were not really working out for you. Drinking and obviously putting yourself in situations that unfortunately led to, you getting raped and really not feeling safe. And so from that, what I'm hearing you say is you started to build some walls to feel safe with that. So, and then you had that moment, that on the floor moment where you heard that voice, the voice of God saying, get up and wake up. And you have this light inside. So would you say that was the point of the miracle for you?
Yeah. I mean, that I did not drink during one of the hardest times of my life, that I looked for the solution, that I continued to find hope and have faith that my life was going to be okay. And it really got good, Sherry, when I realized that if we were together or if we weren't together, things were going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So, I've shared with you before, I had this beautiful vision that here I am at this like ranch style home that was blue. And it came to me in a vision with 2 little kids and my husband, but I didn't see the man's face and I didn't see the kid's face. So I knew without a doubt that I was meant and destined for love, like all of us are. We're all destined to be and connected, even if it's not in a marriage. We're all destined to be connected and supported and loved by this world. And so it was at that point that I knew, and I anchored into that. And I remember realizing that just this past year, I turned around in my backyard and I just started crying. And my husband was like, what is wrong? I was like, it happened. It happened. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, and I told him the story. And the crazy thing is we bought this house when it was brown, and he started painting it blue, not knowing. And the original color was bird blue, which was the actual color in the vision, which is even more amazing. But it was just hanging on to that truth and knowing that I am deserving of this amazing life and that I can have it. I just need to believe in it, surround myself by it, and live in the beingness. And it all started from really waking up that day and saying, I'm not taking no for an answer. So yeah.
Putting a stake in the ground and saying, so So that anybody can do that, I mean, you, from where what you've shared, you were in a a place that was really challenging for you. And I can imagine so many of you watching have been in that place. Maybe you're in that place now and it feels overwhelming, it just feels overwhelming. But what I love about what you're sharing, Jen, is that there is that power that is stronger than any addiction we could have. It's stronger than any circumstance we can have. And if you listen to it, and that was the key, you listened to it and you trusted it and you got up and you took a baby step, because I would imagine, Jen, this didn't just all turn around overnight, that there were steps involved.
No, no,
Yeah.
I spent a lot of money. I worked with you for, I want to say was it 4 or 5 months? I mean,
Yeah, it
it
was
was,
longer than that. I think it was close to a year overall. Yeah.
yeah, it was really, and the other wonderful thing is that I had the choice to get my own apartment or work with Sherry Nichols. And so what did I choose? Because my sister was selling their condo we were renting. My husband had moved out and found his own place. And so I had to hire an attorney for our divorce. I hired Sherry at the same time. And I decided instead of finding my own place, I was going to move into my parents' house. So here I was in my like almost 30s, and my credit was shot. And I was like, okay, instead of paying like a rent payment, I'm going to pay an investment in myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew by hiring Sherry that without a doubt, I knew something was going to happen. Because I know that when you make that investment in yourself and you believe in yourself that much, you have to show up. You
Mm-hmm.
have to show up. And that's what I did. And when you show up for yourself, the world shows up for you. And so it was beautiful. And I remember living in my parents' house, Sherry and I didn't have like Zoom calls. I was on my cell phone in my car at the Kroger parking lot, and we would talk once a week, and I would do her guided meditations and the tuning fork therapy, and it just my life changed in the most miraculous, beautiful way. So
Jen, I have goosebumps. I did not realize, I didn't realize that you chose that. I'm so I am so proud of you. And for any of you out there who are in a situation like Jen, the most important thing to remember is something very powerful that Jen just said, and that is that she invested in herself, which also means, you know, if you're in a place where money's, that's not possible for you, you can still invest in yourself through believing in yourself, through understanding that God is there for you and making choices that are loving for yourself. And that's that, Jen. Oh, I'm just so proud of you. And I'm so grateful that you shared that, because that really is the beginning of creating your miracle, is saying, I deserve more. And God wants more for each of us. All we have to do is tap in, get out of our own way and tap into it. So Jen, how long did it take you to, on your journey to, really from your lowest point to then getting to a place where you started to see some progress, and then where you really felt like your life was thriving again?
So I started investing in coaching, I want to say 6 months before you and I met, but he was still having the affair. And so I was still living in this chaos and living in him not coming home for the weekend, living in calling the place we were supposed to go on vacation to and finding out that there's a reservation under the woman's name that he was having the affair with. I mean, you know all the details. There's a lot of things so there's that chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was still just so sick. I was such a sick codependent who believed that my livelihood depended on this man's happiness. And so I would say it was really 6 months after I met you. I don't know, 4 months, 6 months. And I saw women started coming to me, and I started coaching women, and I started doing book clubs on codependency, and I started doing all this. And, now today I'm an international best-selling author, and I get to do this for a living, right? And it's beautiful. And people in high school used to tell me that I should get paid to do like motivational talks and coaching. And I looked at them like they were nuts because I hated myself so much. I didn't believe in myself. So
Mhm.
I would say really, doing the work every day and devoting my life to myself. I had a salad practice every morning and every evening, and I had alarms set on my phone for every hour to go off to remind me that I'm okay, I can breathe. When you have alarms in your phone reminding you to breathe, that's where I was at. Like,
Mhm.
stop, breathe, and feel the support. I
Mhm.
had to have alarms going off, and I still have alarms going off today. They're just different. So,
But the alarm is a good structure, and I actually love that you had an alarm to remind you to breathe, because when you breathe, that stops the chaos in your mind. It breaks the cycle in your nervous system, and it allows you to center. And I think it's a good idea for anyone for all of us. I still stop and remind myself to breathe, because it allows you to recenter. So, but what I'm hearing you say is that you set up a structure of support for yourself,
mhm.
and that is so important, because a lot of times we think we can do things on our own, but um, it really is a matter of creating that structure. First of all, making the decision, then making choices that support you. That's what I heard you say. And then creating the structures that support your choices, and being consistent and doing something every day. So now you're a coach, and share. That absolutely is. You are, obviously, look at you. You're beautiful. You're glowing. You're everything. You could tell that you're thriving, Jenny. You're thriving, and you're able to impact people's lives. So tell me a little bit about that. What's the impact of all of this been like for you?
I know without a doubt I was set here on this world to heal my romantic wounds and show other people that it's possible, and that you can live this phenomenal life, this amazing life, and that you can heal sexual trauma, you can heal from infidelity, and you can shine like never before and live a phenomenal life after trauma, that you don't need to live in your trauma for the rest of your life. You can live in the radiance, and you can release that trauma and step into this beautiful life. And that's what I'm here to show women that they can do, and that they can have and be it all.
And at the core foundation of it all is really developing self-love, and
Yeah.
that's what you've done. And that is, I know in the Bible Jesus talks about, what are you building your house on? Is it sand? Then the winds blow, and you're just gonna, you're not going to have anything strong to stand on. And I'm obviously paraphrasing here, the scripture. Or you can build your house on rock, and no matter what happens, no matter what winds blow, you'll be able to stand strong. And one of the things that is so evident and clear about your journey, Jen, is that you developed that self-love, which is the rock solid foundation for your life. And from that, everything sprung into an even more beautiful life for you. Is there any last nugget that you want to share, and that you want to relay to the viewers?
Just believe in yourself, believe in that divine power within you, and know that you have the power to do, have, and be whatever it is that you want, regardless of where you're at now. If you saw me when I was first working with Sherry, I was such a hot mess, that you can truly turn your hot mess into your message. And I would not be standing here today without have worked with Sherry. So it's beautiful to be given the gift to get a second chance, but we don't get that second chance until we give it to ourselves. So we need to take chances on ourselves when we have no idea what the outcome's going to be. But
Mhm.
if you take a chance on yourself, it's pretty slim to none that it's not going to be amazing. So working on yourself is very well worth it.
Nice. And Jen, if people want to learn more about you, where can they find you?
If you want to just find me on Facebook, and all my links are there, and my Facebook group Irresistible You is in there, and they're more than welcome. It's a free coaching group with me in it, and they're more than welcome to hop in there and get lots of goodness, and connect with me as much as they would like. So
Beautiful, this beautiful person. Yes, just I love that you're doing that now and you're helping so many women. I love it. So, for those of you watching, just know that this miracle isn't just specific to Jen in Michigan. It can happen to you too. And my intention is that it does happen for you. That you take what you've learned from Jen's share, and hopefully you've gleaned some really great insights and some hope and some inspiration to know that you can turn your life around, that anything can happen. Perhaps you know somebody that this information would be great for, that you share it with them, and that you have the power within. There's this magic God power within that is just waiting for you to connect with it. And if you're wondering or struggling with the idea of how do I do that, I created a gift for you, and it will allow you to connect directly with that God magic within. And I call it your diamond power. All you have to do is go to diamondpowertv.com and you'll have direct access to it. In addition, if you have a miracle that you would love to share, or you know of anyone who has a miracle to share, there's also a place at diamondpowertv.com for you to connect with us, because I would love to hear it. Until then, thank you so much, Jen, for sharing your miracle, for being with us today. And for those of you watching, believe in the miracle in you. Bye now.